Hey guys, and welcome back to Raised Trains. Well, I can't say this has been a long time coming because my channel's only existed for a month and things are moving a lot faster than I thought. But we're finally talking layout design, layout construction. Um, I'm very excited to do this. I'm chomping at the bit because I want to move my whole setup to where the layout's going to go so I can stop being on the floor and reviewing trains for you guys and being in here in this, in this weird setup. So we're gonna go check out the room. I'm gonna show you kind of what I'm thinking, and then I'm gonna show you my track design. So I hope you're excited. So let's go check it out. All right, so here is the reveal of what will be the layout room. Now, before everyone calls me a horrible father, that I'm taking over my daughter's playroom, the reality of this room is it's basically just become toy storage. When my daughter wants to play with a board game or one of her toys, she just doesn't play in here with it. Even though me and my wife would love her to do that, since we gave her this room when we moved in, she usually will just take the game or the toy and bring it everywhere else in the house other than here, either to be around me or be around my wife or be in her bedroom or be in the living room. She just brings all the toys um, anywhere but here. So me and my wife talked about it and decided this room would be suitable. We could make it work in here and still have storage for her stuff. So my plan is um, it's going to be an 8x5 table, and one end of the room to the other is a little more than 8 feet. It's still going to give me room at 8 feet. I'm still going to have room to be able to walk around the entire layout, and then I'll pull it back from the wall here as well a little bit, so I can get back there and I can work on the layout, or I can. It'll just be easier if I have 360 access because I don't want to build any holes in the layout. I've seen guys do that where they can like pop up and do work. I don't want to do that. So at 8x5 uh, should be good for this room. 5 feet comes out to about the middle of the room. And then what I'm going to do is something like this piece is just an old entertainment center that we had nowhere else to put in the house, that we started using for like board game storage. I can build storage under the table and I can throw this old thing out that a coworker made this for me a long time ago, and it's kind of run its course. So I can throw that away, build nicer storage underneath the train table, and my daughter won't lose anything there. And then I'm going to move this toy storage to this wall, and this way it'll be away from the layout, and she'll still have that there, and I can throw this away and build more storage under the table here. So 8x5 is what I can work with. Um, the only thing I would like maybe some feedback on from anyone is I'm not quite sure what the height of the table should be. Now, I think 4 feet is going to be just fine. Um, 4 feet will give me plenty of room for all of the stuff that I need to put under there, including my own storage, like train boxes and trains. So, but if anyone has any thoughts on the height of the what the table should be, I'd love to hear it in the comments. But yeah, 8x5 is what I'm working with. Should still be able to have all her stuff in here, but I can finally begin a nice layout in here. So then my next obstacle was track design, and I really didn't know what to do with that. So did some Google research, and there are a few computer programs that actually let you build your track through the computer program. So what we're going to do next is head up to my laptop, and I'm going to show you the program and what I've come up with. Okay, guys, I'm here in front of my laptop. I don't know how well this is going to come across, but we're going to try it. So, like I said, I was Googling um, different programs, and what I came up with was SCARM. Now we're going to click on SCARM. It was free to download, and SCARM stands for Simple Computer Aided Railway Modeler. So it's going to load up. Okay, now this is not a SCARM tutorial, guys. I'm no expert by any means in this. So what I did was when I downloaded it, it throws you in here when you open it, and I had no clue about anything. I was totally lost. I had no idea what to do. So if you want to learn how to use this, just do what I did, and I went on YouTube and did SCARM, a little bit like how to use SCARM. And the top video that you get when you search that is really fantastic. I don't know who the guy is who talks about it, but he spends a good 35 minutes basically teaching you how to do this. And it was very helpful. I had it up on my phone to remind me after I watched it to kind of walk me through how to do this. So basically what you do is you've got your measurements up here. You can change it to feet or inches, or you can do it to metric. If you're not from here, you can change it to anything you want. And you basically make a border of what your table is. So I did 8 by 5 to make a rectangle. And then what you do is over here, you can actually drop this down. And as you can see here, it basically has every kind of track imaginable, which is really cool. You've got HO here, you've got O48 US, you've got O145 EU. I mean, this program is pretty incredible. So when you go to 148 US, which is what I'm going to be using, you then have the option for all the track. You've got Atlas 2 rail, Atlas 3 rail, you've got Bachmann's Easy Track, you've got Lionel Fast Track, you've got Gargraves, MTH, Millhouse, anything imaginable they have here. So I'm going to talk about what I decided to go with here for a minute, because I know a lot of people aren't going to be a fan, but I am choosing to use just Lionel Fast Track. Now, why am I doing this? Couldn't be simpler. Why is money. Lionel Fast Track will get this done the cheapest. That's really it. I'd love to use Gargraves. I'd love to use Atlas and then ballast it myself, but that's going to bring up the cost significantly. I already probably have 25% of the track I need just from buying the Lionel Lion Chief sets. And I have almost all the straight pieces and all the O36 pieces I'm going to need just from buying those sets. So that will keep my costs down quite a bit. So, would I love to use Gargraves? I know I'm going to get comments about that and Atlas, that I should totally just bite the bullet and do it, but I just can't right now. I've already sunk so much money into this already that Lionel Fast Track is gonna keep my costs down the most. So what you do is you pick your track, Lionel Fast Track, then you can build your border, and it doesn't have to be rectangle or square either, guys. You can get real fancy with this. I think RBP used this when he designed his. I think you can make curves. You can make anything you want. So once you have your uh, design, your border, once you click the track you're going to use, you can see it has every piece of Lionel Fast Track here. 036 full curve, 036 a half curve, 048. You've got 072. I can scroll down here. You've got every kind of curve imaginable. 031 right hand manual, 031 left hand manual, 036 command control, right hand turn, left hand turn, 036. I mean, there's just, you could look, I'm still scrolling. Yeah, and then you have their crisscross pieces here. So this took quite a while. So finally, I'm going to open up the file so you guys can see what I've come up with. And I'm going to click on this, and here it is. Okay, so what I did was, uh, this is the 8x5 length. It's actually a little, might be a little more, might be like 3 inches more than that. But so this is my table in blue, and then what I did was I built, I started to pick curves that were the biggest possible because I knew I wanted, bigger curves mean bigger engines. And we know that I already have some stuff that I can't run, like that boxcar, because of my 036 curves. So I tried 072 first, and 072 was just way too big. I mean, it went way past my 8 feet. Uh, I doubt it would even fit in the room. I tried, guys. I tried to get 072 on here. It's just not gonna happen with the space I have in that playroom. It's not possible. So the next smallest piece of fast track is 036. Excuse me, 060. So you can see all the pieces here say 060, and it fit perfectly. So I said, okay, that's where my starting point is. I made a full loop of 060, and then I said, okay, I now need an inner loop. So I put in 2 switches. I've got one here and one here. They're 060 switches. And it brings you into an 048 loop. Now this will be my inner loop. And you can see you can get back on there. There's not enough room to get switches on both sides, so I couldn't get one here as well as coming out. It's too small. So I have the exit will be here, the entrance will be here. Excuse me. So yeah, this is my 048 curve, and then I wanted to have a little industry with some spurs. So then I put in another switch here with 036 curve, which I already have, and I put in some siding spurs here, just because, I don't know, I thought that would look cool. I'd like to get more track in here, but I also want room for buildings. So I figured with this design, this will give me enough room to put buildings here, put buildings in the middle of here, something here. Maybe I could have a grain, a grain leg here, or I could have a brewer. I could do a whole bunch of stuff. There's still enough room here to do some good modeling with some buildings. So this is what I come up with, guys. Again, it's just playing around with it. I'm no expert on this program. This was just, hours of trial and error trying to get it to fit. Another negative of the fast track was when you pick the track you're going to use, if it's Gargraves or Atlas or something, you can say that it's flexible track, and they give you a lot more uh, wiggle room when connecting track because they go, well, it flexes, so they can connect it easier. With Lionel Fast Track, they don't give you any. There is no wiggle room because they, rightly so, they assume, hey, this track is fixed. They can't wiggle it, so they got to have it perfect. So the only part I couldn't get to connect is right here. But I know Lionel at my store sells really tiny pieces, so I'm sure I can make it work. But yeah, this is it. You guys can comment your thoughts on it. If you hate it, if you love it, if you think I'm doing something wrong, um, I'd love to hear feedback. But this is probably what I'm going to go with, and um, the plan is going to start buying. Oh, and one more thing that is so important and just awesome. So once I had all this out, I'm like, well, now what? Because I'm gonna have to write down every piece that I have. That's gonna be annoying. Well, no. if you go up here to the tools section, there is a parts list. Look at that right there. So you click on the parts list, and it tells you the number of different pieces you have. So I have 16 different pieces. They have each piece here in an image. They have the part number for Lionel. They have the name of what it is, the Lionel, how many pieces, and how many pieces I'm going to need of each piece. I mean, how amazing is that? That saved a lot of work right there. And uh, yeah, I thought that was so cool that they did that. So, no matter what you picked, Atlas, Gargraves, it'll make you a nice parts list that you can print out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, match these part numbers, make sure they're all correct with my store. And I'm going to kind of write how much each piece costs and kind of get a running total here of what this whole project is going to be as far as the track goes. So I actually did already print this out. I printed out the track. So let's just take a quick look at the paper ones after I run the numbers and see what this is going to cost. All right, guys. So I printed it out. Gives you a nice look at what you've got. And then I printed out the parts list. So this is a running total of what I already have. I've already got the right amount of straight pieces. I've already got the right amount of 036 pieces from the various Lion Chief sets that I've got. A couple of part numbers. They weren't wrong. They were actually correct, but on some of the switches I had picked I forget. I had picked manual instead of command control. But basically all the numbers were right. I just had I picked the wrong piece of I picked the wrong switch. But as you can see, I wrote down what every piece costs. The real money is going to be in the switches because switches basically cost $100 a piece. Now I kept costs down on the 036 switches, which are only manual. You can get them in manual, and that keeps it at about $40 a piece. So at $40 a piece, it's only 120 for 3 of them. But the bigger switches, the 060 switches, those are 100 a piece. So you're looking at almost $400 in just the switches. So that's where all the money's going. But bottom line is, this is going to be my total cost for the fast track, $789. Still a lot of money, but significantly cheaper than if I started over with a nicer track. Like I said, I'd love to use Gargraves or Atlas, but I'm gonna just guessing on some rough numbers that I did. The number would be up over a grand if I didn't use fast track. So that wasn't happening. But yeah, so now what I'm gonna do is give this to my store, and I'm sure he can set up a bunch of boxes for me with all the track that I need. And then the next video you guys will see on this will be me basically laying this out on the carpet to make sure it all connects properly and to make sure my measurements are right, that this will fit on a 5x8. And I'm excited to do that. So hope you guys stay tuned to see me buy this stuff, set it up, and then we will work on actually building the table. So hope this wasn't too boring, guys. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Love to hear your feedback on this one specifically. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.